Hey everyone, and welcome to Newegg TV. My name is Paul. Today we have a very special guest here in the studio. This is Jacob from EVGA. How you doing, Jacob?
Good.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming by today. We have, of course, some new X99 motherboards from EVGA. If you guys aren't already familiar with X99, you can check out our YouTube channel because we're going to have lots of content there. So we're going to have a more dedicated explanation of the CPUs that are available from Intel at launch. Of course, there's 3 SKUs that are out there. This video is going to focus on the EVGA X99 motherboards. There are 3 motherboards that are available at launch, and we'll have links to all these, of course, down in this video's description. So we have the X99 FTW for the win. That's right there. That's kind of it has everything you would need from a standard ATX form factor. And then we also have the classified version over there, which is the flagship, top of the line.
Right.
And then also to give you guys a little bit more flexibility when it comes to form factor, over here on my left, we have an X99 Micro ATX version. So very excited, and should be plenty out there for you guys to choose from. But let's start from a little bit more of a theoretical perspective here, Jacob. First off, we want to point out that this is an Enthusiast Platform from Intel, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the people who this platform is geared towards, or it's made for, is really going to be more so towards the content creationists, as I've been calling them, people who are doing stuff like video editing or really higher-end workstation-type activities, because this is a very powerful platform, and it is a little bit more expensive, say, than the Intel mainstream platform, Z97, that's available right now, which, of course, EVGA also has motherboards for. But since EVGA is known as a gaming company, PC gaming in particular, would you recommend this platform and these EVGA motherboards for gaming systems?
Definitely. It's still, even though it's obviously optimized for content creation, there's 8 processing cores, there are 16 threads. From a gaming perspective, it's still the highest end platform that you can build for a gaming PC. So if you are looking for the ultimate in a gaming PC, then X99 is without a doubt the platform for that.
Yeah. So if you want the best of the best, go for X99. If you're a bit more budget conscious and you don't need the power for the content creation side of it as well, then maybe Z97 might be a viable option
Z97 is still an excellent platform. You know, it can play 4770K, 4790K is a great CPU. It overclocks great, but for the many enthusiasts, X99 is the latest and greatest platform.
All right, so there's kind of a quick intro for you guys. Now let's focus a little bit more on each board. We're going to start off with the For the Win version that's right here, because again, this is kind of the standard, so to speak, for EVGA. If you want to get in on this platform and you want a full-size system, then this is an excellent board to go with. Now, it does have this little cover here over the I/O at the back. It's only going to be held in place when you actually install this and bolt it down, so we wanted to show that to you guys. I'm going to set it aside for now, otherwise it might fall off.
Sure.
And cause a racket. We have an exposed LGA socket here as well, so I want to be very careful of that. So for the Win board, can you give us some of the highlights here, Jacob? Some of the things that you guys have integrated here?
Sure. So off the chipset, we have 10 SATA 6G ports.
Okay.
Those are all native to the chipset. We also have 6 USB 3.0 ports. 2 of these are off a USB 3.0 header right here. And actually this header is right angled, so we make sure that it doesn't interfere with any, if you have graphics cards in the slots, you know, it won't interfere with
those aesthetically minded, you can angle those ports. You've done that with the USB 3.0 as well as the 24-pin power.
So not only that, USB 3.0 24-pin power connector is angled. This is not so much for clearance, it's more for aesthetics. It just looks cleaner in a system, especially if you have a case that has, you know, the kind of cutout holes where you can hide cables. But we also right angled some of the fan headers here, so you know the fan header here and here are both right angled, even down here. This one here is a 6-pin power connector. That's actually more power for the PCI Express bus.
Okay.
It's optional, but it is recommended if you're running like 3-way or 4-way SLI.
Okay, so if you're stacking video cards on the system, then plug that in. That can give you a bit of extra juice to make sure there's no voltage drop.
Because otherwise, all the power for the PCI Express bus is being run through a single 24-pin power connector, and so it helps to have a little bit more auxiliary power. That'll
particularly help with stability. Speaking of SLI configurations, since the CPUs here that are available, the 5820K is going to have 28 lanes for PCI Express Gen 3. The other 2 higher-end models, 5930K and 5960X, are going to have 40 lanes. So this is the platform to go for if you want multi-GPU configurations. Since EVGA, of course, does a ton of work with NVIDIA for some really high-end graphics cards, you could do 2-way, 3-way, or 4-way configurations off of this. Yeah,
and the great thing about this platform is, unlike Z97, that's all running native off the CPU if you have the CPU with 40 lanes. So there's no bridge chips needed or anything.
So no added latency from a PLX chip or something like that. Excellent. And then you guys have done some, I like the choices here that you've done as far as the spacing goes. So you've got 2-slot spacing available for anyone who's doing multi-card configurations, but I'm guessing it would also be suitable if you're just, say, running a 2-way configuration to use a 3-slot spacing.
Yeah, you can use, for example, slots 1 and 4 will give you both by 16 performance and 2-way SLI with adequate spacing for cooling. Excellent.
And then as far as the DDR4 implementation here, since this is a quad-channel platform, you are going to want to purchase a quad-channel kits, so you have 4 match sticks to get the most bandwidth from your memory. And you guys have actually given a total of 8 slots, so maximum memory installation available there as well.
Yeah.
I understand you can have something like 512 terabytes theoretically of memory or something. Obviously, you're going to be limited by the actual capacity available in the DIMMs. But again, here, DDR4, not backwards compatible with DDR3.
It won't even fit in the slot. So DDR4 is the brand new memory platform for desktops, and memory is just starting to become available. So excellent.
And then apart from that, we have a lot of the standards that you might expect from an EVGA class for the Win board. So we have supplemental CPU power is up here, of course. I like that you guys have added some higher end features that you don't always see on boards here, such as surface mounted power and reset buttons. And then we've also got this little guy right here. So these are voltage read points.
Yeah. So this is obviously an optional thing, but you can plug. It's supported on all of our boards. It plugs in here, and you can use a voltmeter to measure the voltage of individual components on the board. So it's definitely geared for the enthusiast users, but the enthusiast users certainly appreciate that.
And that keeps it much cleaner, so you can just individually read each of those points, and you don't need to bother with soldering or actually those little individual connection points on the board. So nice little feature there as well. Apart from power and reset, we also have surface mounted clear CMOS. And then I also like that you guys actually have the PCI Express Lanes.
PCI Express disable lanes. So it's especially helpful for people who are using water cooling. Because say for example one of the cards isn't working or something, it makes it a lot easier to troubleshoot that card to try to find the root cause.
Excellent.
And if you just want to disable any of the PCI Express slots, you can do that as well.
All right, and then closing out our look at this board, here's a quick look at the I/O on the back. So again, all that USB 3.0 connectivity that you have, again, it's native, so you're going to get really fast performance out of that. And then all the other connection points that you might need, some additional USB 2.0. Is that also a rear
CMOS another clear CMOS there. So when it's inside your chassis, you don't have to try to fumble around with this button. You can also just hit that one.
All right, so you got an external one there as well. All right, so there's a rundown of the For the Win version. We're going to do a quick swap right here so we can give you guys a closer look at the Micro. Then we'll finish with the Classified so we can see what the highest end users are going to have available. So taking a look at the Micro, I really like Micro. Well, with X99, I should say, it was really cool to see the micro boards that were available for that, because you actually can fit such a powerful system in a fairly small form factor. So having micro ATX really allows folks to have a lot more flexibility, especially if you want something that's a little bit more portable. And kudos to you guys for bringing one out right at launch here. So I think this is one of the few micro ATX X99 boards that's available. But you're going to get all of the features we've kind of already spoken about when it comes to X99 and what's available there. CPU support, of course. Since we are dealing with a smaller form factor board here, we have 4 DDR4 DIMM slots rather than 8, but that's still plenty for anyone building a system off of this. And then you guys have still managed to fit a lot of the same features here, even not just talking about what's natively supported, but we still have the voltage read points connections up here. We still have a surface-mounted LED as well as power and reset buttons there, which is excellent. And I like the fact that with the LED, when you actually get and boot into your operating system, the LED switches over from postcodes to showing the CPU temperature, which is really cool. Like if you got a side window, just at a glance, you can quickly see what your CPU is running at. How about anything else aside from that? What am I missing here, Jacob?
On this board, it still has SLI support, which is great. 2-way SLI is what most people will probably be running on this platform. But if you are creative, you could technically get 3-way SLI to work.
Maybe with some water cooling blocks or something. You'd have to have single slot.
If you had single slot graphics cards.
But that would be interesting.
The motherboard can support it if you can manage to fit cards in there, but for the majority of people, they'll be running 2-way SLI. Still have the 6. On this one, we lose a couple SATA ports, but it's still 6 SATA 6G ports, all native to the chipset. and we still have 6 USB 3.0 all native to the chipset as well.
Excellent.
One thing also is that that I forgot to mention is on all our boards we use Intel Gigabit Ethernet ports, which a lot of people have been asking for in our community. So,
and that's an excellent feature. Intel kind of sets the standard when it comes to network connections. I think both their Wi-Fi chips as well as their actual LAN chips do a fantastic job. So that's integrated onto the back there. I'm guessing you also have access to the Intel software package then for controlling the
tuning, yes. Okay. And we also have our own overclocking utility, which is called Elite.
Okay.
And it allows you to change CPU multipliers, change B clock, change voltage. You can also read, monitor the CPU temperatures and a lot of the vitals of the motherboard.
Excellent. So apart from a few fewer DIMM slots, a couple fewer SATA ports, and not quite as much PCI Express connectivity, you guys pretty much got everything X99 has to offer built into the Micro ATX board here. I like the color scheme as well. It keeps it it's a little bit more black and silver, kind of dark graphite gunmetal, if you will. But excellent options there for color coding and color matching as well if you're building a nice system that you want to have on display somewhere. So excellent. That's the X99 Micro from EVGA. We're going to set this one aside now too, and we'll switch over to the Classified. Now the X99 Classified, this is the flagship. This is the best of the best, at least as far as right now, for what EVGA has to offer with X99.
Right.
And this is still is this EATX?
Yeah, it's EATX.
And actually,
they both are EATX.
They're both EATX, so bear that in mind. EATX is just a bit wider than standard ATX.
And it's not true EATX.
Okay.
True EATX comes out a little bit farther, but it is a little bit wider than ATX, so we do call it EATX.
So it can't quite fit into that ATX standard, but even a lot of standard ATX cases, and this will obviously be case-by-case basis, but with just that bit of extra width,
it's very rare to find an ATX case that cannot accommodate this size motherboard.
Okay, so a little bit wider there, but apart from that, what other special sauce have you guys dropped into the flagship model?
So for the classified board, we increased the power phases to 10 power phases.
Okay.
We have dual 8-pin power inputs for the CPU. So that gives you a little bit more juice for your CPU, up to 600 watts if you needed it, which you wouldn't probably need it unless you're doing some crazy overclocking.
So you're gearing these features a little bit more towards
this is
people
more
using exotic
cooling. This is more for the exotic cooling, water cooling, even water cooling. But even water cooling, 600 watts may be a little bit overkill. But
so for folks who are going for the world record overclocks and that sort of thing, you need extra power. And that's an excellent way to maintain stability.
Right, yeah. Okay. And this board actually has Creative Core 3D audio.
Okay.
So we use the Creative Core 3D chip. It gives you all the great Core 3D features.
That's the quad core one.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
Nice.
And of course it comes with the Creative driver suite as well. We have 2 M.2 ports on this board.
Okay.
So there's actually one here. And there's another one,
and
another one right there.
So I really like that. Actually, pretty much every board that I've seen so far only has one M.2, and I'm a really big storage fan, especially next generation stuff that's really high speed. So it's great to see a couple options there. So you have, this is a 2280 if I'm not mistaken?
Right.
So 22 is the width of the M.2 slot, and then 80 is the length of that. So make sure you get a 2280. And then over here we have, this is an E-keyed 2230.
2230.
All right, so just make sure you get the M.2 drive that corresponds with that if you're going to want to be populating one or both of those, or one or the other. And then apart from that, we're going to have a lot of the same connectivity again that we saw with the For the Win version, so all the USB 3.0, all the serial ATA located over here, of course, all that good stuff that you're going to get. Just the amount of peripherals that you can connect to an X99 system compared to what we've seen in the past is really quite insane.
And all running native off the chipset.
All native, and then you're not going to run into conflict issues there. You're not going to have, we have too much stuff going through the chipset right now, and one is going to suffer some speed consequences or something like that.
On this board, we also have 3, we call triple BIOS, 3 BIOSes.
Okay.
So you can switch between them with this small little switch right here.
All right.
And they are 3 completely separate BIOSes.
So it's not just like a failover. It's actually, you can jump between.
Yeah, there is actually 3 BIOS chips on here.
Nice.
1, 2, 3. So
all right.
they're 3 completely separate BIOSes. So you can use it for like saving different overclock profiles on each one, or maybe you want to run different BIOS versions on each one for some reason, or maybe you had a BIOS flash gone wrong. Hopefully not. It allows you to switch to the other BIOS and easily recover recover the BIOS.
Excellent. And then, of course, we still got the surface-mounted debug LED and surface-mounted power reset buttons, all that good stuff up here in the top right as well. Voltage read points are relocated up here to the top, but they're still existing there. Of course, couldn't go without those on the top of the line board. And then the color scheme, again, a little bit more subdued, I'd say, than the further one version. Got a little bit of red there on the EVGA logo on the heatsink, but other than that, mostly a black aesthetic. So very nice. Any other final words about the classified board here, Jacob?
One thing about that really covers all the boards is our BIOS. So
the BIOS, of course.
So we a few years ago with the Z87, we introduced a new Gui Bios, and we spent a lot of time on this BIOS, maybe over a year easily. Optimizing it, making it look nice, but not just look nice, but also be very functional. So it has things like, of course, mouse support if you want to use a mouse, but you don't have to use a mouse. You can use a keyboard, and it works just like a traditional BIOS with a keyboard, but it gives you a lot more useful information. We call the heads-up display at the top. There's a lot of information about what's going on in the motherboard, what your CPU frequency is, B clock, what your memory is running at, voltages, all that kind of stuff. So that is on all the motherboards, and for X99 we have kind of refined it from our Z97, added a couple more features that people have been requesting. So.
And this being an Enthusiast platform and all of the CPUs that are available here being unlocked, I imagine the UEFI BIOS is going to be a place where a lot of enthusiasts are going to hang out for quite some time.
Yeah, so. X99 is a fun platform to overclock. It overclocks pretty easily. You know, especially
when you consider that you're overclocking 6 or 8 cores as well.
Yeah, it overclocks nice, and it's really simple to do. So.
Excellent. So we're very excited about this platform, and of course excited about these new motherboards from EVGA as well. Of course, again, links available down in the video description. While you're down there, leave us a comment. Let us know what's your favorite board here. Are you more of a pragmatist? You like for the win, or you want top of the line classified? Or are you looking for something that's a little bit more portable? Like the X99 Micro. I think all those are excellent solutions. And Jacob, thank you so much for stopping by today.
Thank you.
Sharing all this information. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button as well, guys. Let us know that you like this video and us providing all this information, because we hope it's helped you out in your decision making when it comes to X99. We'll see you all very soon.